Have you ever been in a situation where one tiny misunderstanding could lead to a total disaster? Well, today we're going to talk about a communication technique built for exactly those moments. It's a simple, four-step protocol that can, and does, save lives. So, what is it, and how can we use it when the stakes are high?
I want you to picture an ICU, an intensive care unit. It's a place of controlled chaos. And in there, language isn't just for talking, it's a tool. It's got to be as precise, as sharp, and as critical as a surgeon's scalpel. Every single word matters.
And that's exactly the scene we're dropping into. We have a patient, their vitals are tanking, blood pressure is crashing, you've got alarms beeping, the medical team is moving fast, the pressure is on. This is the perfect storm for a communication breakdown.
In an environment like this, there is zero room for error. A message has to be sent, it has to be received, it has to be understood perfectly, and it has to be acted on, all in a matter of seconds.
So that's the big question, right? In the middle of all that noise, how does a team leader make absolutely sure that their instructions are followed to the letter? Because just yelling an order and hoping for the best is a recipe for failure. Well, it turns out there's a system for this.
And here it is. It's this beautiful, incredibly effective protocol that you'll find in high-performance teams all over the world. So let's get into it and break down this four-step lifeline.
It's called closed-loop communication, and the name, well, it tells you everything you need to know. The whole point is to create a full circle of information. It goes from the sender to the receiver and then all the way back again. There are no gaps, no room for "I thought you meant."
And here are the 4 steps. I mean, it's so logical when you see it laid out like this. First, the leader gives a really clear order. Then, and this is key, the team member responds by repeating it back. That's called a read back. Then the leader gives a nod, confirms they heard the read back correctly, and finally, the team member reports back when the job is done. Simple, right? Let's see how this actually plays out in a crisis.
All right, so let's head back to that ICU. Our patient's blood pressure is still crashing. Now watch how this 4-step process takes a moment that could be pure chaos and turns it into controlled, life-saving action.
Okay, the doctor, who's the team lead, makes the call. She doesn't just suggest something. She gives a direct, clear, unambiguous order for a specific drug, norepinephrine, at a very specific dose.
And boom, that's step 1. A clear assignment. No fluff. Just the critical information. The communication loop has officially been opened.
Now, pay attention to this part. The nurse doesn't just say "got it" or nod his head. He repeats the entire instruction back to the doctor, word for word.
This is that all-important second step, the read back. By repeating the order, the nurse is proving that he heard it exactly as it was intended. You know, what if he'd heard 15 mics instead of 5? A potentially fatal dose. This is the exact moment that mistake gets caught before it can cause any harm.
And now for step 3. The doctor hears the correct readback and gives a nod or says correct. That's it. Just like that, they are perfectly in sync. No one is guessing. The nurse can now go do his job with 100% confidence he's doing the right thing.
So a few moments go by. The nurse doesn't just get the drug running and move on. He comes back to the doctor and reports 2 things: that the task is done and what the result is. The patient's blood pressure is improving. This last piece is absolutely essential. And with that one sentence, the loop is now closed. The order was given, it was understood, it was acknowledged, it was carried out, and the result was reported back to the whole team. The patient is stabilizing, and everyone is on the same page.
So why is this such a big deal? I mean, why does this simple little loop work so well? Because it systematically destroys assumption. And assumption is the root cause of so many critical mistakes.
And you know, this isn't just a medical thing. You see this exact same protocol pretty much anywhere that a mistake would be catastrophic. We're talking airline pilots in a cockpit, engineers in a nuclear power plant, firefighters on the ground, military special operations, even tech teams deploying critical software. If the stakes are high, this is the gold standard. At the end of the day, what closed-loop communication really does is bridge that terrifying gap between what one person meant to say and what another person actually heard. It makes sure that your intention and the final action are one and the same.
So I want you to think about your own world, your job, your team, heck, even your family. It doesn't have to be a life-or-death crisis. Where could a simple readback, a little confirmation, give you the clarity you need to avoid the next big misunderstanding?